garage reeked of ozone and burnt silicone, which was normal. What wasn't normal was the machine screaming like a dying god, while Rick Sanchez chugged directly from a flask, one eye on the readings, the other on Morty's increasingly pale face. The multiverse frequency stabilizer looked like someone had welded a satellite dish to a carnival ride and taught it to hate, all crackling violet energy and mathematical impossibilities spinning in the air like angry wasps. "Oh, Rick, the readings are spiking into the red again. Maybe we should—" Morty started, gripping the safety rail that definitely wasn't safe. "Shut up, Morty. You see this?" Rick jabbed a finger at the holographic display showing a pulsing crimson signature. "That's concentrated corporate psychopathy. I'm talking weaponized capitalism, Morty. Peak human stupidity distilled into a frequency we can harvest. It's like finding a universe that runs on pure fucking evil and calling it heroism." He took another swig, wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "We bottle this shit. We've got infinite energy. Existential dread particles, Morty. The universe's most renewable resource." "That sounds really bad, Rick. Like, shouldn't we maybe not tap into evil as a power source?" "Oh, what? You prefer fossil fuels? Nuclear?" Grow up, Morty. Every power source is someone's nightmare. At least I'm honest about strip mining human misery. Rick slammed a button. The machine howled, reality rippling like a pond someone threw a brick into. Besides, this universe pinged as a Category 5 capitalist hellscape. You know how rare those are? It's like finding a diamond made of suffering. The stabilizer's rings spun faster, the violet energy turning sick crimson. Numbers cascaded across screens, coordinates, frequency matches, probability matrices all screaming the same thing. Connection established. Morty's stomach dropped as the familiar pre-portal nausea hit, but this felt wrong. Too thick, like reality itself had food poisoning. "Rick, it's pulling us in." "No shit, Morty. That's what it's supposed to—" "Wait!" Rick's eyes narrowed at a readout. "The frequency's unstable. It's not just evil, it's organized evil. Corporate infrastructure, media saturation. Oh, fuck me, it's self-sustaining." His voice carried something that might have been respect if you squinted. "This universe weaponized capitalism so hard, it created its own gravitational pull. That's actually impressive in a humanity deserves extinction kind of way." The portal tore open, not the clean green disc of a portal gun, but a ragged wound in space vomiting red light. Alarms shrieked, metal groaned. Morty grabbed the rail as the lab tilted toward the breach. "Rick, shut it down!" "I'm trying. You think I'm not?" Rick's hands flew across the controls, but the machine had ideas of its own now. The stabilizer locked onto the signature like a starving dog finding meat. "It's feeding back. The universe is pulling us in because we're analyzing it. It thinks we're, oh, that's clever. That's really fucking clever." He actually laughed. "It's got mimetic defenses. The evil is contagious." Morty screamed as the pull became irresistible. Rick grabbed his grandson's jacket, portal gun in his other hand, but before he could fire, the stabilizer exploded in a cascade of sparks and shattered mathematics. The portal expanded, swallowed them whole, and reality turned inside out. Rick felt himself stretching across dimensions, his consciousness brushing against the target universe's fundamental frequency. And holy shit, Morty wasn't wrong to be scared. This place vibrated with a special kind of rot, not the chaotic evil of a dimension overrun by Cronenbergs, but calculated, focused, tested evil with a PR department. He caught flashes. A man in an American flag cape with eyes like blue murder. A corporate tower scraping heaven while bodies piled in the sub-basements. Talking heads on screens selling atrocities as entertainment. Then the universe spat them out. Rick hit polished marble hard, rolled, came up with his portal gun aimed at nothing. He was in a plaza, all corporate glass and steel, surrounded by people in suits and tourist families. Morty materialized 3 feet away, immediately vomited, then started fading, flickering like a bad hologram. "Rick!" Morty's voice distorted. "It's ejecting me. The frequency won't hold to." "Stabilize yourself, Morty. Use the..." But the kid was already gone, snapped back to their home dimension like a rubber band. Rick swore, checked his portal gun. The display showed critical errors, systems rebooting, recalibrating to local dimensional physics. 48 hours, minimum. Perfect, just perfect. He looked up. A jumbotron the size of a city block showed a man floating in the air, cape rippling in wind that didn't exist, laser eyes glowing as he incinerated something off-screen while a chyron read, "Homelander stops terrorist threat. 7 lives saved." The crowd around Rick was cheering, crying, taking selfies with the carnage reflected in the tower's windows. Rick's scanner beeped. Compound V traces everywhere. In the air, the water, the fucking hot dog cart 20 feet away. He pulled up atmospheric analysis. Media saturation at 847% standard baseline. Corporate ownership of truth at 94%. Public critical thinking at 6% and dropping. His flask was empty. The universe was worse than his reading suggested. Behind him, a woman's voice, sharp and terrified, trying to sound controlled. "Sir, you need to come with us. Unauthorized portal activity is a federal offense, and Vought International takes security very seriously." Rick turned. A dozen security guards, all body armor and tactical gear, all looking like they'd been hired from the same fascist catalog. He checked his portal gun again. Still rebooting. He looked back at the jumbotron, at Homelander's perfect plastic smile, at the crowd worshipping manufactured divinity. Then he smiled, wide and mean. "Oh, you have no fucking idea what you just pulled into your shitty corporate dystopia." He raised his hands in mock surrender. Scanner still recording everything, brain already cataloging weaknesses. But you're about to find out. If you love deep dive crossovers that respect both worlds, smash that subscribe button and comment your dream matchup, Doomslayer in Mass Effect, Goku in Halo. We're building the multiverse one story at a time, and trust me, this one's gonna get messy. They didn't handcuff him, which was mistake number 1. They tried to confiscate his portal gun, which was mistake number 2. The lead security officer, buzz cut, jaw like a brick, name tag reading Morrison, reached for the device and Rick let him take it, watching with the expression of a man watching a toddler grab a live wire. Morrison turned the gun over, frowned at the buttons, then yelped when it shocked him hard enough to smell burnt hair. "The fuck is this thing?" Morrison dropped it, shook his hand. "Interdimensional travel device, also registered to my biosignature, so unless you want your nervous system scrambled like eggs, I'd leave it alone." Rick scooped it up, checked the reboot progress. 39%. He glanced around the security office, all clean lines and Vought logos, cameras in every corner, a poster of the 7 looking like fascist boy band rejects. "Let me guess. You're gonna call this in. Some middle manager's gonna shit themselves. And then someone with an actual salary is gonna come ask me questions I won't answer. Save us time. Where's your coffee? This universe smells like corporate desperation, and I need caffeine. Morrison's partner, younger, twitchy, had his hand on his gun. Sir, you need to what? Comply? Kid, I've been thrown out of dimensions that make this place look like a daycare. Your boss, not you, the 112 pay grades above you, wants me intact because they don't know what I am yet. Rick pulled out his scanner, waved it around. Compound V traces everywhere. You're breathing weaponized genetics and don't even know it. Tell me, how many of you get cancer before 40? Don't answer, it's rhetorical. The answer's most. Morrison's radio crackled. A woman's voice, clipped and professional. Bring him to conference room 7. Do not engage. Do not let him access any terminals. Mr. Edgar wants him evaluated before we proceed. Rick's eyebrows went up. Mr. Edgar. Now that's a name that sounds like it signs death warrants in marble offices. He stood, stretched, noticed the guards tense. Relax. If I wanted out, you'd already be decorating the walls. But I'm curious. This universe pulled me in like a black hole, and I want to know why your existential dread signature is so goddamn concentrated. They escorted him through corridors that screamed money, the kind of money that came from suffering packaged as salvation. Everything was white marble, chrome fixtures, and screens showing the 7 in action. Homelander melting terrorists, Queen Maeve looking noble while throwing cars, a train running through some foreign city leaving sonic booms and probably corpses. Rick catalogued every detail. The way employees flinched when the 7 appeared on screens. The way guards' hands shook near their weapon. Fear masquerading as respect. Conference room 7 had a view of the city that cost more than most people's lives. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a table that could land, aircraft, and a woman who looked like she'd been stress-eating battery acid for breakfast. Red blazer, tablet clutched like a shield, smile that didn't reach eyes already calculating damage control. Mr. Sanchez, how the fuck do you know my name? Rick dropped into a chair without being invited. She blinked. Your entry triggered biometric scans across 15 databases. You don't exist in our world, which makes you either a very sophisticated fabrication or interdimensional traveler stuck in your capitalist hellscape because my equipment needs to recalibrate. Yeah, you're welcome for the multiverse confirmation. That'll be $12 billion in consulting fees. Rick propped his feet on the table. You got a name, or should I just call you corporate anxiety disorder? Ashley Barrett, Senior Vice President of Hero Management. She set the tablet down, trying to regain control. Vought International is prepared to offer accommodation and resources while you recalibrate. In exchange, we'd appreciate your cooperation in understanding the technology you've brought into our world. Translation: you want my portal gun so you can weaponize interdimensional travel and sell it to governments. Rick pulled out his flask, remembered it was empty, swore. Here's what's actually happening. I was running an experiment harvesting existential dread particles from universes with peak human stupidity. Your dimension pinged so hard, it literally dragged me here against my will. Congratulations. You've achieved corporate evil so pure it has gravitational pull. Ashley's smile cracked. That's not... We're a hero management company. We save lives. You bottle genetics and sell gods to a population too stupid to ask questions. Rick pulled up his scanner readings, tossed the holographic display onto the table. Charts showing compound V distribution, mortality rates, media saturation indexes. You've got a flying fascist with laser eyes and mommy issues. A woman who runs so fast she's probably killed dozens from collateral sonic damage. And I'm betting at least 3 of your heroes have body counts that'd make war criminals blush. But it's fine, because you own the cameras, right? The door opened. A man walked in, black, 50s, suit that cost more than a house, eyes like a shark that learned accounting. He carried silence the way other men carried guns. Ashley stood immediately. Mr. Edgar. Stan Edgar didn't acknowledge her. He looked at Rick the way a scientist looks at a new species of bacteria. Curious, detached, already planning the dissection. Mr. Sanchez, I've read your preliminary file. Genius-level intellect, multiverse awareness, technology centuries beyond our current capabilities. He sat across from Rick, folded his hand. You're also a nihilist alcoholic with no regard for authority and a history of destabilizing civilizations, which means you're either an opportunity or a threat. Rick grinned. I love that you didn't say, maybe both. Most corporate drones hedge. You just went straight to the cost-benefit analysis. I built Vought from a Nazi pharmaceutical company into the most powerful corporation in human history by understanding one thing. Everything is product, including morality. Edgar's voice never rose, never fell. You represent unknown variables. Unknown variables cost money. So let me be clear. You will stay in our designated accommodation. You will not interfere with our operations. And in 48 hours, when your device works, you will leave. In exchange, you walk out intact. Or what? Your dollar store Superman vaporizes me on camera. Or we make you irrelevant. Discredit you. Label you domestic terrorist, Russian asset, foreign intelligence. We own the narrative, Mr. Sanchez. We've made heroes of sociopaths and saints of murderers. Making you disappear wouldn't even require effort. Edgar stood. Ashley will show you to your quarters. I suggest you enjoy the amenities and avoid making noise. Rick watched him leave, then looked at Ashley's panicked face, at the guards trying to look intimidating, at the city outside, where people worshipped manufactured gods. His portal gun hit 47% reboot. His scanner was cataloging Vaught's systems through ambient signals. He started laughing. Something funny? Ashley asked nervously. Yeah, you dumb fucks just locked the fox in the hen house and gave him Wi-Fi. Rick stood, portal gun in hand, already planning. Show me these quarters. I want to see what corporate dystopia thinks counts as hospitality. The quarters were a penthouse suite, 40 floors up, all glass and chrome and the kind of sterile luxury that screamed, "We surveilled the shit out of this room." Rick found 6 cameras in the first 30 seconds, 2 in the smoke detectors, 1 in the climate control vent, 3 embedded in the decorative mirrors. He left them alone. Let them watch. They'd learn exactly as much as he wanted them to. He dumped his portal gun on the marble counter, pulled out his scanner, and got to work. The device unfolded like a metal flower, projecting screens of data into the air. Compound V molecular structure, Vaught's corporate network architecture, news feeds showing Homelander's latest rescue that looked suspiciously like a massacre with good editing. Rick cracked his neck and started cross-referencing. Jesus fucking Christ, he muttered, scrolling through files his scanner had pulled from ambient signals. They're not even hiding it well. It's like they know nobody's looking. Compound V wasn't just enhancement. It was genetic Russian roulette with a corporate logo. Survival rate in adults, 37%. In children, 62%, but with psychological damage in 94% of cases. And Vought had been dosing babies for decades, tracking results, burying the failures, and marketing the successes as godless. Rick had seen evil before. Hell, he'd committed most categories of it, but this was systematic, focus-tested evil with quarterly earnings reports. His portal gun hit 62%. Still not enough. The door opened without knocking. Rick didn't turn around, just tracked the reflection on the window. Man. Middle-aged. Leather coat that screamed, "I've seen some shit." Face like a gravestone with a grudge. He was carrying a baseball bat, and the kind of rage that had fossilized into something surgical. "You must be the interdimensional dickhead Ashley's losing her shit over," the man said, British accent thick as blood. "Name's Butcher. Billy Butcher. And you and me need to have a chat about soupes." Rick finally turned. "Let me guess. You hate the capes, you've got a personal vendetta, and you think I'm your ticket to evening the score because I've got technology that scares Vought." He took a swig from a new flask he'd synthesized from the suite's minibar alcohol. "How'd you even get up here?" "Vaught's security's shit if you know where the cameras don't look. Been doing this for years." Butcher set the bat down, leaned against the wall. "Heard you called Homelander a fascist with mommy issues. To his face, more or less. That's either balls or stupidity." "It's pattern recognition. I've seen 1,000 versions of that guy across dimensions, always the same. Manufactured superiority complex, emotional development of a toddler. Power that lets them get away with it until someone with an actual brain takes them down." Rick pulled up a hologram of Homelander's psychological profile he'd extrapolated from news, footage, and social media. "He's a weapon that thinks it's a god. Textbook narcissistic sociopath with enough strength to make it everyone else's problem." Butcher's smile was ugly. "You just described my life's work, mate. Been trying to put that cunt in the ground for years. But every time we get close, Vought buries the evidence, pays off witnesses, makes us look like terrorists." He stepped closer. "You've got tech that doesn't exist in this world. You're not scared of them. And from what I hear, you don't give a fuck about rules." "Okay, I'm going to stop you right there." Rick held up a hand. "You want me to what? Help you kill Suppies? Expose Vought? I'm not a hero, Butcher. I'm a scientist stuck in your shithole dimension for 48 hours because my equipment broke. Your corporate fascism problem isn't my corporate fascism problem." "Then why are you analyzing Compound V?" Rick paused. Butcher was smarter than he looked. "Professional curiosity. I harvest data from interesting dimensions. Yours is interesting like a car crash is interesting." "Bullshit." Butcher pulled out a phone, showed Rick a photo. A woman, blonde, smiling in a way that meant she was real before this world broke her. "That's Becca, my wife. Homelander raped her. Vought covered it up. She died because of their fucking secrets." His voice didn't shake. It had burned past shaking years ago. "You're analyzing V because you're bored and smart and you can't help yourself. But here's the thing, mate. This world breaks everyone eventually. Even you. So you can either sit in this golden cage for 2 days drinking yourself stupid, or you can do something that actually fucking matters. Rick stared at him. At the photo. At the rage that had calcified into purpose. He'd seen a million butchers across dimensions, men who'd lost everything and made revenge into religion. They usually died badly, but they also usually took their targets with them. "You're trying to weaponize me," Rick said. "I'm trying to give you a reason not to be a coward." Rick laughed, sharp and bitter. "Oh, that's cute. Psychological warfare. Appeal to my ego, my boredom, my buried humanity." He took a long drink. "Fine, let's say I'm interested. Not because I give a shit about your dead wife or your revenge boner, but because Vaught's existence offends me on a scientific level. They're weaponizing genetics without understanding the math. It's sloppy, it's dangerous, it's killed thousands." Butcher interrupted. "Including kids. Including people who just wanted to feel special and got sold poison in a needle." Rick's jaw tightened. He thought about Morty, about the times he dragged the kid into situations that could have killed him, about the thin line between using people and protecting them that he'd never quite figured out. "What exactly do you want?" "Right now. Access to your scanner. I need to know where Vaught's keeping their latest V-shipment. We've got intel on a distribution center, but security's tighter than a nun's." "I get it. You want me to hack their systems." Rick pulled up Vaught's network architecture. "This is amateur hour. Their firewalls are basically asking to be penetrated. Give me 20 minutes. "Why the change of heart?" Rick didn't answer for a moment, just stared at the hologram of Compound V's molecular structure, at the way it ripped through human DNA like a buzzsaw through tissue paper, at the mortality rates, at the children. "Because I've weaponized dimensions before," he finally said, "and I know what it looks like when someone does it for profit instead of science. At least when I destroy civilizations, I'm honest about it." Butcher's smile was sharp enough to cut. "Knew you were a right bastard. Welcome to the boys, Rick. I'm not joining your fucking book club. I'm killing time until my ride home works." But Rick was already tearing through Vaught's systems, his fingers dancing across holographic keyboards, security protocols falling like dominoes. There, distribution center in the Flatiron district. 6 guards, automated turrets, biometric locks, and, oh, this is interesting, a train scheduled for a pickup tomorrow morning. "A train?" Butcher's eyes went sharp. "That's the speedster. Killed my mate Huey's girlfriend. Ran right through her like she was nothing. Killed lots of people, statistically. Collateral damage from supersonic speeds in urban areas is a mathematical certainty. But Vought doesn't report those." Rick pulled up mortality projections. "Based on his patrol patterns and known incidents, I'd estimate 247 civilian deaths attributed to accidents or unrelated causes. Your friend's girlfriend was just the one someone cared enough to notice." Butcher stared at the numbers, at the names Rick was pulling up, faces of people the world forgot because Vought owned the cameras. "Can you prove it? Can I prove water's wet? Of course I can fucking prove it. Question is, what are you going to do with proof in a world where truth is negotiable?" Butcher picked up his bat. "I'm going to beat that speedster cunt with it until he stops moving. But first, we're hitting that distribution center. You coming, or you staying in your tower?" Rick looked at his portal gun. 71%. Still hours away. He looked at the cameras watching him, at the city outside where corporate gods played human, at the molecular structure of Compound Vi still rotating in the air. "Fuck it," he said. "I need field data anyway." The distribution center squatted in the Flatiron district like a concrete tumor. All razor wire and cameras and the kind of security that said, "We're definitely not doing war crimes in here." Rick crouched on the rooftop across the street, scanner out, cataloging defenses while Butcher's crew assembled around him like the world's angriest book club. There was Huey. Kid couldn't have been more than 25. Baby face and eyes that had seen his girlfriend explode into red mist, still flinching at loud noises. Mother's milk, built like a tank, neat freak energy, kept checking his gun's magazine like a rosary. Frenchie, French accent, manic energy, looking at Rick's scanner the way a kid looks at Christmas. And Kimiko didn't talk, didn't need to, had eyes that promised violence in multiple languages. "Right," Butcher said, checking his watch. "A-train arrives at 0600 for pickup. That gives us 40 minutes to get in, secure the V, and set our trap." "Your plan is to ambush a man who moves faster than sound with a baseball bat," Rick said flatly. "That's not a plan. That's assisted suicide with extra steps." "You got a better idea, Professor." Rick pulled up holographic schematics he'd ripped from Vaught's servers. A-train's top speed is Mach 1.3, but his acceleration takes 0.7 seconds. Human reaction time at that speed is basically zero, which means he runs predictable patterns, straight lines, wide turns, nothing that requires thinking. He highlighted the building's interior. "We don't fight him. We make him fight himself." "The fuck does that mean?" MM asked. "It means physics doesn't care about your corporate branding. Speedsters are momentum weapons. All that kinetic energy has to go somewhere. We set up a funnel. He runs into it at full speed, and conservation of momentum does the rest." Rick pulled out what looked like a spray can. "This is compressed tachyon gel. Hardens on contact with objects moving faster than 300 meters per second. To him, it'll be like hitting a wall made of crystallized time." Frenchie leaned in, eyes wide. "That is beautiful. Horrifying, but beautiful." "Yeah, well, it'll liquefy his legs if he hits it wrong, so try not to get sentimental." Rick stood, checked his portal gun, 84%, still not enough. "Huey, you're on camera duty. You look like you've never punched anyone, so make yourself useful on tech. MM, you and Kimiko handle the guards. Non-lethal if possible. I don't need murder charges complicating my dimensional paperwork. Frenchie, you're with me. We're setting the trap." "Why do you get to give orders?" Huey asked. "Because I'm the only one here who understands physics beyond gun make bad guy stop. You want A-train dead, you follow my plan. You want to feel better about your dead girlfriend, go to therapy. Clock's ticking." Butcher grinned like a shark. "I like him. He's a cunt, but he's efficient." They moved fast. Huey cracked the camera system using tools Rick had built from vending machine parts and spite. MM and Kimiko dropped the perimeter guards with tranquilizers and headlocks, and Rick and Frenchie rigged the interior loading bay with tachyon gel in a pattern that looked random but was mathematically perfect. Anyone moving at supersonic speeds would funnel directly into the hardening agent. "How do you know so much about speedsters?" Frenchie asked, helping Rick calibrate the gel's activation threshold. "I've killed 3. accidentally created two and dated one who turned out to be a fascist from a universe where the Nazis won World War II. Speedsters are easy once you understand they're just meat traveling at velocities meat wasn't designed for. Rick checked his scanner. Your guy A-Train's already got a heart condition, tachycardia, microstrokes, arterial scarring. Compound V gave him speed, but it's killing him. He's probably got 6 months, maybe a year if he stops running. Good, Frenchie said simply. Fuck him. Rick paused. You know him? He killed Huey's girlfriend. Ran through her in the street, laughed it off on television, called it an accident. Vought paid her family to shut up. Made Huey sign an NDA. Frenchie's voice went cold. Some accidents deserve consequences. Rick thought about Morty again. About the times he'd told himself collateral damage was acceptable if the science was good enough. About the thin line between genius and monster that he'd crossed so many times he'd stopped counting. Yeah, he said quietly. They do. The Compound V was exactly where Vought's server said it would be. 600 vials of liquid blue God in a bottle, stored in refrigerated cases that cost more than most people's houses. Rick pulled one out, held it up to the light. The liquid moved wrong, too thick, almost alive. His scanner showed the molecular structure in real time. DNA resequencing enzymes, genetic activation triggers, cellular augmentation protocols that were elegant and horrifying in equal measure. They dose babies with this, Rick said. Infants, before their immune systems can fight back. 38% mortality rate in test subjects under 1 year old. But the survivors integrated better. More stable powers, better corporate assets. He set the vial down carefully. Whoever designed this knew exactly what they were doing. This isn't mad science. This is methodical science with a profit motive. Can you reverse it? Huey's voice crackled through comms. The V, can you cure people? Rick was quiet for a moment, scanner running projections. In theory, yeah. Compound V rewrites DNA at the transcriptional level, but it's not permanent. It's a constant battle between the serum and the body's original genetic code. You'd need a counteragent that reinforces base human genetics while stripping the V-induced mutations. It'd take me, he did the math, 90 minutes to synthesize if I had a proper lab. 2 hours in this shithole. Dimension with your medieval technology. So you could depower Soupes, Butcher said, suddenly very interested. I could depower anyone, but it'd be agonizing. Imagine every cell in your body rewriting itself while conscious. It'd feel like burning from the inside. Rick pocketed one vial. I'll need a sample for analysis. Consider it my consulting fee. Movement, hissed through comms. Black SUV, 3 tangos, all armed. Vought security. Let them come, Butcher said. We're not here for them. But Rick was checking his scanner, and his blood went cold. Belay that. Those aren't standard security. They're handlers for Homelander. He's coming. The temperature in the room dropped. Everyone froze. Homelander, Huey's voice cracked. Rick, you said A-Train was... I said A-Train was scheduled. I didn't say Vought wouldn't change the plan. Rick pulled up the security feed. 3 SUVs now, and in the middle one, a figure in red, white, and blue that made the cameras glitch just from proximity. He's doing a surprise inspection, probably paranoid after I embarrassed him yesterday. Fuck. We abort, said. Right now, we get out before... The wall exploded inward. Not from explosives, from a man moving too fast to see. A train materialized in the center of the loading bay, costume pristine, smile manufactured, eyes dead. He looked at them, at the stolen compound fee, at Rick's technology scattered across the floor. Well, well, A-Train said. Looks like someone's trying to fuck with Vought property. That's a bad idea. Know what's a worse idea? His smile widened. Doing it on a day when Homelander's feeling pissy. Rick heard the sonic boom outside, heard the screaming, heard the freight train sound of something godlike and furious coming closer. He looked at his portal gun. 92%. So close. He looked at Butcher, at the bat in his hands, at the rage that wouldn't quit. He looked at the tachyon gel, still armed, still waiting. Change of plans, Rick said, pulling out a device that looked like a grenade fucked a Rubik's Cube. We're not trapping A-Train, we're trapping Homelander. Are you insane? Huey shouted. Rick grinned, manic and mean. Buddy, I stopped being sane 6 dimensions ago. Now move. Homelander came through the roof like a meteor wrapped in a flag. Concrete exploding into dust, fluorescent lights shattering into electric rain. He floated down, slowly. Boots not touching ground, because gods don't walk when they can fly. Cape settling around him like a shroud made of propaganda. His smile was wide and empty, the kind of smile that serial killers practice in mirrors. Now this, Homelander said, voice carrying that manufactured warmth that made Rick's skin crawl. This is just disappointing. Break-in and entering, theft of company property, and... His eyes locked on Rick, blue and cold and full of murder. Interdimensional trespassing by our guest, who was supposed to stay in his very nice, very expensive accommodations. A-Train zipped to Homelander's side, stopping so fast the air cracked. Found them trying to steal V. Want me to handle this? No, no, no. Homelander waved him off like swatting a fly. I want to handle this personally. See, I've had a bad week. Some asshole scientist shows up, calls me a discount Superman with daddy issues. To my face. And then Vought tells me I can't vaporize him because he might be useful. His smile didn't move, but his eyes went colder. But now you've committed crimes. Multiple felonies, which means Ashley can't protect you anymore. Rick was calculating angles, distances, the exact position of every piece of tachyon gel he'd planted. Homelander was hovering 3 feet off the ground, center of the room, exactly where Rick needed him. But the timing had to be perfect. You know what your problem is, Rick said, pulling Homelander's attention. You're a product, a corporate mascot with laser eyes. You think you're special because you can fly and melt people, but I've seen 1,000 versions of you across dimensions. You're not even original. You're a copyright-friendly knockoff of someone else's copyright-friendly knockoff. Homelander's eye twitched. Careful. Or what? You'll laser me? Go ahead. Make me a martyr. Give me that sweet, sweet victim status. I'm sure Vought's PR department would love explaining why their flagship hero murdered an unarmed scientist on camera. Rick gestured to the security feed still running. Oh, wait. You already control the cameras. You control everything. Must be nice living in a world where truth is whatever you say it is. I could break you in half, Homelander said, voice dropping the manufactured warmth, going flat and dead. Rip your spine out through your mouth, make you watch yourself die. But you won't, because I'm interesting, because Stan Edgar told you not to, because for all your power, you're still a good little weapon who follows orders. Rick took a step forward, checking his scanner peripherally. A-Train was shifting position, getting ready to move. That's what you are, right? A weapon manufactured by Nazis, raised in a lab, given powers you didn't earn, and a costume you didn't choose. You're not a god. You're middle management with heat vision. Homelander's jaw clenched, his fists clenched. The air around him started to shimmer with heat. "Rick," Huey whispered through comms. "What the fuck are you doing?" "Physics," Rick whispered back. Then louder. "You want to know what's really pathetic? You could actually be something. With your powers, you could leave Earth, explore the cosmos, find actual challenges. But instead, you're here, playing superhero for a corporation, desperate for love from people who'd spit on you if they knew the truth about what you really are." "And what am I?" Homelander asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Lonely, broken. A lab rat with delusions of grandeur who never learned the difference between fear and respect." Rick smiled. "Your own people are terrified of her. Ashley flinches when you enter a room. Edgar treats you like an asset to be managed. Even your teammates. Look at A-Train. He's not loyal. He's trapped. Just like everyone else in your fucked up corporate cult." Homelander's eyes started glowing red. "I'm going to enjoy this." "Probably. You're a sadist, but here's the thing about sadists. They're predictable." Rick pulled out a remote. "A-Train, move." The speedster blurred, instinct taking over, running the pattern Rick had calculated. Straight line, wide turn, building momentum. Exactly 3 steps before he hit the tachyon gel. The substance activated, hardened, and A-Train ran face first into a wall of crystallized time at Mach 1.3. The sound was like a car crash and a symphony having a baby. A-Train's legs shattered, momentum carrying his torso forward, while his lower body stayed frozen, body twisting in ways spines weren't designed for. He screamed. The sound was wet and broken and human. Homelander's head snapped to A-Train, concentration breaking for exactly 1.3 seconds. Rick triggered the second device. Not tachyon gel, but a resonance disruptor keyed to Compound V's specific frequency. Every vial in the room exploded simultaneously, Liquid V spraying everywhere, coating Homelander in the same substance that gave him power. For a normal person, it would have been deadly. For Homelander, it was sensory overload. His enhanced nervous system trying to process 600 doses of genetic activation triggers hitting him at once. He dropped, crashed to the ground, clawing at his face, screaming. "Now!" Butcher roared. They moved as one, MM and Kimiko grabbing A-Train's broken body, Frenchie securing V-samples, Huey pulling up escape routes. Butcher ran straight at Homelander with the bat, face twisted in rage that had waited years for this moment. "That's for Becca, you cunt." The bat connected with Homelander's skull. It shattered on impact. Homelander's head didn't even move. He was still screaming, still clawing, but he was already recovering, burning through the V overdose with metabolism that could process toxins faster than they could kill him. "Butcher, move!" Rick shouted, running forward. His portal gun was at 97%, almost there, almost. Homelander's hand shot out, grabbed Butcher by the throat, lifted him off the ground. The hero's eyes were bloodshot, face twisted, but he was smiling again, that terrible manufactured smile. "Got you," Homelander whispered. Rick didn't think, didn't calculate, just moved, pressing the portal gun against Homelander's chest and firing at 98% charge. The portal tore open, unstable, wrong, too small and collapsing in on itself. It didn't transport Homelander anywhere. It just carved a chunk out of his chest, flesh, muscle, bone, all erased by incomplete dimensional mathematics. Homelander dropped Butcher, looked down at the crater in his torso, looked at Rick. That, Homelander said, voice bubbling with blood, was a mistake. Then he screamed, and it wasn't human. It was rage distilled into sound, primal and endless. His eyes went full nuclear, beams of heat vision carving through the building like it was made of paper. Rick grabbed Butcher, yanked him behind a support column that immediately started melting. Portal gun charged. Butcher gasped. Rick checked, 100%. Finally. "We need to go, right fucking now," Rick said, firing portals for the team, one for MM and Kimiko dragging A-Train, one for Frenchie and Huey with the V-samples. "Through the portals, move, move, move." They dove through, portals collapsing behind them, emerging in the safe house Butcher had set up across town. Rick was the last through, portal closing just as Homelander's heat vision carved through the space where his head had been. Silence, breathing, the sound of A-Train whimpering, legs bent at angles that made geometry cry. "Holy shit," Huey said. "Holy shit, we just fought Homelander. We fought him and lived." "We pissed him off and ran away," MM corrected. "That's not the same as winning." "No," Rick said, checking his scanner's recordings. "But I got what I needed. Homelander's cellular structure under stress. Compound V's interaction with existing V-positive biology. Resonance frequencies that cause neural disruption." He pulled up holographic data. "I can weaponize this, build a compound that specifically targets Compound V on a molecular level. It won't just depower soups. It'll make V inert in their systems permanently." Butcher stared at him. "You can kill Compound V?" "I can kill what Compound V does to people, make them human again, whether they survive the process." Rick shrugged. "That's statistics. Coin flip at best. But yeah, I can strip every soupe in this dimension of their powers if I wanted to." "Do it," Butcher said immediately. "Build it. I don't care what it costs. It'll cost most of them their lives. The shock alone will kill the weak ones. The strong ones will wish they died." Rick looked at A-Train still whimpering, legs ruined. "Case in point, he's enhanced. His healing factor is the only thing keeping him from bleeding out. I used the V-stripper on him. He's dead in minutes." "Good," Butcher said. "Billy," MM warned. "No, fuck him. Fuck all of them. They've killed hundreds, thousands, and Vought just covers it up. If this is how we even the score, I'll take it." Rick looked at the team, at Butcher's rage, at MM's conflict, at Huey's fear, at Frenchie's exhausted pragmatism, at Kimiko's silent agreement, at A-Train bleeding on the floor, at the Compound V samples worth billions, at his portal gun, finally charged, finally ready to take him home. "I need 12 hours, Rick said. 12 hours to synthesize a stable V neutralizer and test it. After that, my portal gun stays charged and I'm gone." "Why help us?" Huey asked. "You said this wasn't your problem." Rick thought about Homelander's empty smile, about Ashley's fear, about the children dosed with poison and sold as gods, about the way this universe had turned suffering into quarterly earnings. "Because Vought's methodology offends me," he said finally. "They're doing genetic engineering like amateurs with a marketing budget. Someone needs to show them how it's really done." He pulled out his flask. Still empty. This dimension was driving him to sobriety. and he hated it. 12 hours, he repeated. Then I'm out. But first, he looked at A-Train. Someone shut him up. His crying is ruining my concentration. Kimiko walked over and knocked the speedster unconscious with one efficient punch. Rick smiled. I like her. The lab Frenchie had cobbled together in the safe house basement looked like a meth operation had a baby with a Radio Shack, but Rick had worked with worse. He'd synthesized chemical weapons in gas station bathrooms and built quantum computers from prehistoric rocks. This was luxury by comparison. The compound V sample sat in a makeshift centrifuge, spinning at speeds that made the whole table vibrate, while Rick's scanner projected molecular structures that looked like angry DNA having a seizure. This is fascinating, Rick muttered, adjusting the crystallization matrix. V doesn't just rewrite genetics, it creates a feedback loop. The body constantly fights the mutation. V constantly reinforces it. It's like an autoimmune disease that gives you superpowers. Elegant, horrifying, profitable. Huey sat on a crate nearby, watching Rick work with the expression of someone who'd seen God, and God was drunk. How long have you been doing this? The science stuff? Longer than your universe has had written language. I've got PhDs from dimensions where physics works backward and time is a spatial dimension. Your Earth's science is adorable, like watching toddlers discover fire. Rick pulled the V sample, now separated into 5 distinct components. But you know what's fucked up? The chemist who designed this was actually brilliant. This isn't crude, this is art. Evil, soulless, corporate art, but art. Can you really cure it? Cure implies disease. This is intentional modification. I can reverse it, sure, but... Rick held up a vial of synthesized counteragent, liquid the color of old bruises. This isn't medicine. It's controlled genetic collapse. Every cell with V-induced mutations gets targeted and reverted to baseline human. All at once, while the subject is conscious. Jesus. Jesus isn't answering calls in this dimension. Trust me, I checked. Rick loaded the counteragent into a delivery mechanism that looked like a gun fucked a syringe. The question isn't, can I do it? It's whether you can live with what happens when I do. Footsteps on the stairs. Butcher descended, carrying bottles of liquor that looked expensive. He set them on the table without ceremony. Figured you could use actual alcohol instead of whatever synthetic shit you've been chugging. Rick grabbed a bottle, checked the label, took a long pull. Adequate. Not good, but adequate. Your Dimension's liquor industry is the only thing you got right. How's the V-killer coming? Done. Tested it on A-Train's blood sample. Every compound V marker went inert in 47 seconds. In a living subject, it'd be 47 seconds of their DNA ripping itself apart. Rick set down the bottle. You use this, people die. Not just soups. Anyone who's been exposed to V. That includes kids who survived the baby dosing. Employees who've handled it. Anyone with trace amounts in their system. Collateral damage, Butcher said flatly. Is that what you tell yourself? Collateral damage. Rick turned, actually looked at Butcher for the first time since the lab. You know what the difference is between you and Homelander? He kills people and calls it heroism. You kill people and call it justice. Same body count, different PR. Those cunts have powers. They've killed thousands. So you'll kill them first and call it even? That's not justice, Butcher. That's just revenge with better branding. Rick grabbed the V-neutralizer gun. I've committed genocide across dimensions. I've erased timelines. I've turned civilizations into cosmic dust because they annoyed me on a Tuesday. You know what I learned? It doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you someone who has to live with what you did. Then why build it? Rick was quiet for a moment. Because Vought deserves consequences. Because Compound V is an abomination that shouldn't exist. Because... He stopped, took another drink. Because I keep thinking about those kids. The ones they dosed, the 38% who died. And I keep thinking if I'd been born in this dimension instead of mine, I could have been one of them. You care, Butcher said, surprised. Under all that nihilistic bullshit, you actually give a fuck. Don't get philosophical. I'm helping because your corporate dystopia offends my scientific sensibilities. Nothing more. Rick tossed Butcher the neutralizer gun. One shot. Direct injection. Subject's powers die. Subject probably follows. Use it wisely or don't. I'm not your conscience. Butcher held the gun like it was holy. This could end them. All of them. It could end everyone with V in their system, including the ones who didn't choose it, including victims. Rick pulled up files on his scanner. Children, dozens of them, dosed as infants, now living with powers they never asked for. You pull that trigger on the wrong target. You're no better than Vought. Homelander is a monster, agreed. But he's a manufactured monster. Vought made him, raised him in a lab, gave him godlike power and zero empathy. He's a product of this system. Rick met Butcher's eyes. You want to fix this dimension. Don't just kill the symptoms. Kill the disease. Vought, the infrastructure, the corporate machinery that turns children into weapons. We can't fight Vought. They own everything. Then make them not own everything. Rick pulled up Vought's financial records he'd stolen. I've mapped their entire corporate structure. Shell companies, offshore accounts, illegal experiments, government bribes. Everything Edgar thinks is buried. I can give you the keys to their kingdom. Why? Huey appeared at the bottom of the stairs. Why help us this much? You could portal home right now. Rick looked at his portal gun, fully charged, ready. He could leave, go home. Forget this dimension existed. But he kept seeing Homelander's empty smile, Ashley's fear, the children in those files. Because I'm bored, Rick said, and you're amusing, and because, fuck it, maybe I do care a little. Happy, don't make it weird. The building shook. Distant explosions. Ran down the stairs, face grim. Vought's found us. They've got assault teams on 3 sides, helicopters overhead, and fuck, Homelander's with them. His chest is already healed. Of course it is, Rick muttered. Compound V healing factor. I carved a hole in him and he's already back. He grabbed his portal gun. How long do we have? 5 minutes. Maybe less. Rick looked at the team. Butcher with his new weapon, Huey terrified, calculating odds, Frenchie ready to fight, Kimiko silent and lethal, at A-Train still unconscious in the corner, at the Compound Vi research that could change everything. Okay, Rick said. New plan. We don't run. We make a statement. A statement? asked. Against Homelander and a Vought strike team? Against everyone. Rick started loading equipment, bottles of synthesized compounds, weapons that didn't exist in this dimension. We hit them so hard, so publicly, that Vought can't spin it. We turn their own media circus against them. We make Homelander bleed on camera, where the whole world can see gods die. That's insane, Huey said. Yeah, Rick agreed, grinning manic and mean. But it's the right kind of insane. The kind that gets views, gets attention, gets people asking questions Vought doesn't want answered. He looked at Butcher. You wanted to hurt them. Let's hurt them where it actually matters. Their public image, their brand, their stock price. Butcher's smile was sharp enough to cut. Now you're speaking my language. The explosions got closer. Homelander's voice echoed through the streets, amplified, godlike. Come out, Rick. Let's finish what you started. Rick checked his weapons, his compounds, his portal gun. Everything ready. 12 hours, I said. 12 hours and I'm gone. He looked at the boys. Let's make them count. Rick's plan was simple, which meant it was completely insane. They didn't evacuate. They went up. Frenchie had rigged cameras throughout the safe house, all streaming to every social media platform Vought didn't directly control, which was basically just conspiracy theory forums and porn sites, but those had users. Millions of them, angry users who wanted to see gods bleed. This is suicide, said, checking his rifle for the 4th time. No, suicide is painless. This is going to hurt like hell. Rick was at the roof access, scanner showing Homelander's heat signatures 3 blocks away, circling, hunting. But it's going to be spectacular. Huey, cameras live. Streaming to 47 sites. We've already got 20,000 viewers. Huey's voice shook. Rick, if we die, this footage dies with us. Vought will scrub it. Then don't die. Or do, but make it compelling content. Rick pulled out a device that looked like a grenade designed by someone who hated geometry. Frenchie, you said you could synthesize more V-neutralizer if I gave you the formula. Why? Because we're not using it on Homelander. We're using it on A-Train, on camera. We're showing the world what happens when you strip a soup of their power. Rick's smile was dark. We're making Vought's product look defective. Butcher grabbed Rick's shoulder, spun him around. A-Train's mine. I'm putting that speedster cunt down myself. You can beat him to death after we prove he's mortal, but first, we need him awake and terrified. Rick shook off Butcher's hand. You want revenge or you want revolution? Because revenge is a bullet. Revolution is a broadcast. The roof access exploded inward. Not Homelander. Worse. Black Noir, silent and lethal, dropping through smoke like a nightmare in tactical gear. He moved fast, knife out, going for Rick's throat. Kimiko intercepted, her own blade meeting his, and suddenly the roof was a hurricane of violence too fast to follow. They moved like mirror images, both silent, both brutal, both trained to kill by people who understood efficiency. Noir's here, shouted, firing. Bullets sparked off the armored soup's suit, doing nothing. Rick pulled up his scanner. He's not invulnerable. His suit is. Kevlar weave with ceramic plating and, oh, that's interesting. He's got brain damage. Severe trauma to the frontal lobe. Someone fucked him up years ago and Vought just kept using him anyway. How does that help us? Huey asked, dragging A-Train's unconscious body toward the roof edge where cameras were positioned. It doesn't. I just think it's funny that Vaught's silent killer is literally brain damaged. Rick threw the geometry-hating grenade. It detonated mid-air. No explosion, just a pulse of energy that made reality stutter. Black Noir stumbled. Kimiko didn't, her blade finding the gap between helmet and suit, drawing blood that looked too dark. Noir retreated, hand to his neck, reassessing. Then Homelander landed on the roof, Behind him, crater forming under his boots, cape billowing in wind. He was generating himself. His chest was healed, perfect, like Rick had never carved a hole in it. But his eyes were done pretending. "You know what's funny?" Homelander said, voice casual, terrifying. "I actually liked you at first. Thought you were interesting, different. But you're just another asshole who thinks being smart makes you special." He floated forward. "I have killed smarter people than you. Melted their fucking brains while they begged. You know why? Because smart doesn't matter when you can't bleed." "Cameras are on you," Rick said calmly. 47 sites, 63,000 viewers now. Say something stupid. I dare you." Homelander's jaw clenched. His eyes flickered to the cameras positioned around the roof. Professional-grade equipment streaming every word, every movement. His smile returned. Manufactured. Perfect. "Of course. Cameras. You think this is leverage. You think public opinion matters. Stock price matters. Vought's dropped 4% since our fight at the distribution center hit the forums. You kill me on camera, it drops another 10. Edgar's gonna be pissed." Rick pulled out the neutralizer gun. "But if you let me do my science demonstration, if you played nice, maybe Vought's PR team can spin this as Homelander shows restraint. Good optics. Or I melt every camera, and you with them. Then you prove me right. That you're not a hero, just a corporate weapon having a tantrum." Rick walked to A-Train's body, pressed the neutralizer gun against his neck. 89,000 viewers now. They're watching to see what happens next. You going to give them a show? Homelander's fists clenched, heat shimmer around his eyes. But he didn't move. The cameras had him trapped better than any weapon Rick could have built. "Do it," Butcher growled. "Show them what their fucking heroes really are." Rick pulled the trigger. The V-neutralizer injected directly into A-Train's carotid artery. 40 cc's of genetic collapse. The speedster's eyes snapped open and he started screaming. Not words, just sound, raw and animal. His veins went black, visible under his skin, spreading like infection. His body convulsed, bones cracking, muscles tearing, healing factor fighting the neutralizer and losing. "Jesus Christ," Huey whispered. A-Train's costume started smoking where his speed-generated friction had burned it countless times. Without V reinforcing his cells, his own power's residue was cooking him. He clawed at his chest, at his face, at anything, trying to rip out the agony that was rewriting him back to human. "Compound V," Rick announced to the cameras, "isn't enhancement. It's continuous genetic warfare. The subject's body fights it every second. We just gave the body permission to win." He held up the neutralizer gun. "This is what your heroes are built on. Suffering. Continuous, agonizing suffering, masked by corporate branding." A-Train stopped screaming, stopped moving. His chest still rose and fell, but barely. He looked small now, ordinary, just a man who'd been turned into a weapon and used until he broke. "He's alive," Rick said. "Powerless, probably brain damaged, but alive. Human. Which is more mercy than Vought ever gave the people he killed." "You motherfucker," Homelander whispered. "You actually did it. You stripped him." "I can strip all of them," Rick said, meeting Homelander's eyes. "Every soup in this dimension, make you human, make you mortal, make you face consequences without powers to hide behind." He raised the neutralizer gun. "Question is, you want to find out what you are without Compound V? Because I'm really fucking curious." Homelander's eyes went nuclear. The cameras caught it. The moment the hero mask cracked completely. "I'm going to kill you, slowly, make it last days." 140,000 viewers, Huey said, voice amazed. "Holy shit, we're trending." "Then let's give them a finale," Rick said, and threw a device at Homelander's feet. Not a weapon, a teleporter. Same tech as his portal gun, but one way, already programmed. It activated portal opening beneath Homelander, not to another dimension, but to low orbit. The Supe dropped through, portal closing, leaving him 600 miles above Earth. "That buys us 90 seconds, Rick said, already moving. "He can fly, but acceleration takes time. Kimiko, grab A-Train. Butcher, Huey, the V-samples. Frenchie, download everything and torch the lab." "Where are we going?" Butcher demanded. Rick fired his portal gun, green disc opening to somewhere else, somewhere Vought couldn't follow. "Somewhere we can finish this, somewhere with an audience." His grin was manic. "We're going to Vought Tower. Prime time." Vought Tower's lobby was cathedral-sized corporate worship. Marble floors polished enough to see God's reflection if God shopped at Nordstrom. A statue of the Seven posed heroically like they weren't all murderers with publicists, and security guards who looked like they'd been hired from a catalog titled Fascism for Beginners. Rick's portal opened directly in the center of the lobby at 8:47 p.m., prime time, when the building was full of employees working late because Vought squeezed productivity like it squeezed morality, until nothing was left but profit. The guards went for their guns. Kimiko went for their throats. It wasn't a fight. It was a nature documentary about apex predators. She moved through them like water through paper, and by the time the last guard hit the floor unconscious, she hadn't made a sound. Rick loved efficiency. "Cameras," Rick said. "Scanner out, mapping the building's security infrastructure." "Huey, I need access to their broadcast network. They've got a studio on the 42nd floor for their news channel. We're hijacking it." "Rick, there's 1,000 employees in this building," Huey said, pale. "If Homelander comes back while we're here, then we make it fast. Frenchie, secure the elevator banks. Butcher, you're with me and Huey. Kimiko, anyone tries to be a hero, educate them." Rick was already running toward the elevators. Portal gun in one hand, scanner in the other. We've got 2 minutes before Homelander gets back from orbit. Maybe 3 if he stops to fix his hair. They packed into the elevator, Butcher holding A-Train's limp body like a war trophy. Huey frantically hacking the building's systems through a tablet Frenchie had built from spite and stolen parts. The elevator climbed, smooth and quiet, while Rick checked his readings. Compound V storage on sub-level 3. Enough to dose 1 million people. Executive offices on floors 60 through 70, where the real evil got its paperwork approved. And the broadcast studio on 42, currently running a puff piece about the Seven's charity work that made Rick want to vomit. "Got it," Huey said. "Building security is looped. They're watching footage from 20 minutes ago. We're ghosts until someone physically checks." "Good. When we go live, everyone will check. That's the point." The elevator dinged at 42. Rick stepped out into a hallway that smelled like expensive cologne and corruption. "Huey, you're directing. I need every camera in that studio on us. Butcher, you're on-air talent. Look angry and British. That shouldn't be hard." "What are you doing?" "Science demonstration. I'm going to explain exactly how Vought manufactures gods and why everyone should be fucking terrified." Rick kicked open the studio doors. 3 technicians looked up, startled, hands reaching for phones. Butcher pointed his gun at them, smile cold. "Sit the fuck down and make yourselves useful. We're going live." They sat. Huey took the audio director's chair, hands flying across controls, patching into Vaught's broadcast feed. On screens throughout the city, hell, throughout the country, the Seven's charity special cut to black, then to Rick's face, standing in their own studio, holding A-Train's powerless body like evidence. "Good evening," Rick said into camera 1. "My name is Rick Sanchez, and I'm an interdimensional scientist currently trapped in your corporate dystopia. Behind me is A-Train, former soupy, current cautionary tale. 90 seconds ago he had powers. Now he's just a guy who killed your neighbors and got away with it because Vought owns the cameras." He dropped A-Train's body. It hit the floor with a wet thump. "Let me tell you about Compound V." Huey was frantically checking viewer counts. 500,000. Holy shit, Rick. We're on every Vought channel. They can't shut us down without cutting their own infrastructure. That's the beauty of monopolies. They're fragile. Rick pulled up holographic displays of Compound V's molecular structure, projecting it for the cameras. This substance rewrites human DNA. Vaught's been dosing babies with it for decades. Survival rate, 62% in infants. The other 38%, dead, buried, forgotten. But the survivors become soupies, get costumes, get marketing campaigns, and Vought makes billions selling you the idea that these manufactured weapons are heroes. Butcher stepped into frame, still holding his gun, face like a gravestone. "My wife was killed by Homelander. Vought covered it up, paid me to shut up, made me sign papers saying it never happened. They've done that to thousands of families. Thousands. And you worship these cunts like they're gods." Rick held up the V neutralizer gun. "This weapon strips Compound V from human biology. Permanently. It's agonizing. It's dangerous, but it works. And I'm offering the formula for free to anyone who wants it. Scientists, doctors, governments that aren't in Vaught's pocket. If you want to level the playing field, here's your shot." "You're insane," one of the technicians whispered. "I'm effective. There's a difference." Rick uploaded the formula to 47 servers simultaneously, all outside Vaught's control. "You can't stop the signal. You can't bury this. By tomorrow morning, basement labs across your world will be synthesizing V-neutralizer. Your soups will have to choose, be human or be hunted." The building shook. Once, twice. Homelander was back. "And there's our star," Rick said, checking his scanner. Homelander was coming up through the building, heat vision carving through floors, not bothering with elevators. 90 seconds until he reached them. "Before he kills me, and he's definitely going to try. I want you to understand something. Homelander isn't evil because he has powers. He's evil because Vought raised him to be. They made him in a lab, gave him godlike abilities, taught him he was special, and then set him loose on a world that couldn't fight back. He's a product, and products can be recalled." "You're fucking dead." Homelander's voice echoed through the building, amplified by rage. "Probably. But I'm dead in a lot of dimensions. It's boring." Rick looked directly into camera 1. "The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep worshipping corporate gods, or are you going to ask why you need gods in the first place?" Homelander exploded through the floor, concrete and rebar and fury. His costume was scorched from re-entry, hair windblown, eyes glowing like stars going supernova. He looked at Rick, at the cameras, at the million people watching, and his smile was gone. No more pretending, just murder. "You wanted an audience," Homelander said. "Fine, watch me kill the smartest man in the multiverse." Rick raised the neutralizer gun. "One shot. I hit you, you're human. You hit me, I'm dead. But either way, everyone says what happens next. You willing to risk it?" Homelander's eyes flickered to the cameras. To the million viewers, now 2 million. To the stock price Rick knew was plummeting in real time. To Ashley probably having a breakdown somewhere. To Edgar calculating damage control. To the empire built on manufactured divinity watching their god decide whether to prove he was a monster. "Do it," Butcher growled. "Show them what you really are, you fucking coward." Homelander's fists clenched. His jaw worked. And for one perfect moment, Rick saw the truth. Homelander wasn't afraid of the neutralizer. He was afraid of being ordinary, of losing the only thing that made him matter. Then the moment passed. Homelander smiled. No. He grabbed Rick by the throat, lifted him off the ground, and flew straight up through 70 floors of Vought Tower, through the roof, into the night sky above New York City. Wind screamed. Rick's scanner shattered against Homelander's chest. The portal gun slipped from his grip, tumbling away into darkness. "You know what your problem is," Homelander said, holding Rick 5,000 feet above the city. "You think being smart is power, but power is power, and I have all of it." Rick clawed at Homelander's hand, gasping. "You're still on camera." Homelander looked down. Every phone in New York was pointed up, recording. Every news helicopter, every security camera. The whole world watching him decide whether to murder the man who'd exposed his empire. Rick smiled through the choking. Checkmate. 5,000 feet above New York City, Rick Sanchez was dying, and the math was very clear about it. Homelander's grip was crushing his trachea at approximately 14 pounds per square inch. Oxygen deprivation would cause brain damage in 90 seconds, and the fall would turn him into street art. Rick had died before, 73 times across various dimensions, but it never got less annoying. "Say something," Homelander hissed, face inches from Rick's. "Beg. Apologize. Give me a reason not to drop you." Rick couldn't speak. Throat collapsed, but he managed to raise his middle finger. Below, he could see phones recording, helicopters circling, the whole city watching their god hold a man like a broken toy. Homelander's eyes flickered red, then faded, then flickered again. He wanted to kill Rick, needed to, but the cameras had him in a cage more secure than any Rick could have built. "Fuck it," Homelander said, and let go. Rick fell. Wind tore at him, buildings blurring past, mathematics screaming that terminal velocity was 120 miles per hour, and he had approximately 6 seconds before impact. His hand scrambled for anything, backup portal device, emergency tech, something, and found the small disk he'd palmed before Homelander grabbed him. Dimensional anchor. One use. He'd been saving it. He activated it 3 seconds before hitting the street. Reality bent, caught him, and spat him out in Butcher's safe house. The old one, the burned one, the one Vought had already searched and abandoned. Rick hit concrete, rolled, came up coughing blood but alive. His scanner was gone. Portal gun was gone. Most of his tech was scattered across Manhattan, but he was breathing. "Fuck you too," Rick gasped at the ceiling, at Homelander somewhere above the city, at this entire goddamn dimension. His emergency communicator, built into his jacket because paranoia was just pattern recognition with experience, crackled. Huey's voice, panicked. "Rick, holy shit, we saw you fall. We thought, are you alive?" "Define alive. I'm conscious and pissed off." "Where are you?" "Back at the secondary safe house. Butcher got us out through maintenance tunnels." "Rick, the broadcast. It's everywhere. Every platform. Vought's trying to scrub it, but people keep re-uploading. The V-neutralizer formula is on 100 servers. We actually did it. We pissed off a flying fascist and started a revolution we can't control. Yay us." Rick stood, checking his injuries. 3 cracked ribs, bruised trachea, mild concussion. He'd had worse hangovers. "How long before Vought finds you?" "Edgar's called an emergency board meeting. Ashley's having a breakdown on live television. Homelander's. Fuck, Rick, he's flying over the city melting cars. Random cars? He's having a meltdown. Good. Unstable gods make bad PR." Rick limped toward the safe house exit. He needed his portal gun, needed to get home, needed to stop caring about this dimension before it killed him. "Where's the gun? The one I dropped?" "Police have it. Vaught's trying to confiscate it, but NYPD won't hand it over without a warrant, and the mayor's suddenly interested in interdimensional technology oversight." "Rick, you broke something. The whole city's asking questions Vought can't answer." Rick smiled despite the pain. Questions are contagious. Once people start asking them, they don't stop. He made it to the street, looked up at the sky where Homelander's heat vision was carving red lines through clouds. "But we're not done. Edgar's going to retaliate. He doesn't have a choice. If he looks weak, Vought collapses. He'll come at us with everything. Then we fight back." "No, you fight back. I'm leaving." Rick found a working payphone, actual ancient payphone because this dimension's technology was adorably primitive. He dialed a number he'd memorized from Vaught's servers. 3 rings, then a voice smooth as cancer. "Mr. Sanchez, I wondered when you'd call." Stan Edgar sounded tired. Not defeated, just tired, like a man who'd run the same play 1,000 times. "You've cost Vought $40 billion in market value. Our stock is in free fall. 7 board members are calling for my resignation. The Attorney General is launching an investigation. Congratulations. You've done in one night what activists have tried for decades. I want my portal gun back. I want a lot of things. Currently, I want you dead, but Homelander's theatrical attempt demonstrated why that's complicated." Papers shuffled in the background. "The device is in police custody. I can retrieve it. For a price. Let me guess. I give you the V-neutralizer antidote, the thing that reverses what I did to A-Train. Among other considerations, you've made Compound V toxic, not literally, but culturally. Parents are terrified. Governments are demanding oversight. Our entire business model is threatened. You fix this, I give you your device, and you leave. Everyone wins." Rick laughed, wet and painful. "You think I'm negotiating? Edgar, your empire is burning. In 72 hours, basement labs worldwide will have V-neutralizer. In a week, your soups will be hunted. In a month, Compound V will be worthless because the product can be neutralized by some asshole with a chemistry set and a grudge." Silence. Then, "What do you want?" "I want you to feel it. The fear, the uncertainty, the knowledge that your power isn't permanent." Rick leaned against the payphone, ribs screaming. "But I'll make you a deal. You release every file on Compound V's development, every trial, every dead kid, every cover-up. You put it online, full transparency, and I'll give you a formula that stabilizes V-positive subjects against neutralization. Vaccine, basically. Your soups stay super, but the world knows the cost. That would destroy us. No, it would make you accountable. There's a difference. Rick coughed blood into his hand. You've got 12 hours. After that, I get my portal. Gun another way, and you get nothing but chaos. He hung up. 3 blocks away, sirens. Vought security or actual cops didn't matter. Both wanted him. Rick started walking, every step agony, heading toward the precinct where his portal gun was sitting in evidence lockup like a sci-fi MacGuffin. His communicator crackled again. Not Huey this time. Morty. Rick! Oh man, Rick, I've been trying to reach you for hours. The Council of Ricks detected dimensional instability in your location, and... Are you okay? You sound terrible. I'm fine, Morty. Just bleeding internally in a corporate dystopia. Normal Tuesday. Rick ducked into an alley as Vought helicopters swept overhead. How's home? Boring without you. Summer's complaining. Mom's worried. Jerry's being Jerry. When are you coming back? Rick thought about Butcher's rage, about Huey's fear, about the millions watching Homelander prove he was a monster, about the revolution he had started and couldn't finish, about his portal gun sitting in a police station 3 miles away. Soon, Rick said. I just need to finish something. Is it important? Rick watched another helicopter pass. Searchlights cutting through darkness, hunting for the man who'd called their gods mortal. He thought about the 38% of children who died so Vought could sell heroes. About Becca, dead because a soupy couldn't hear the word no. About A-Train, powerless and broken, finally facing consequences. Yeah, Rick said quietly. It's important. He hung up before Morty could argue. The precinct was close now. Rick could see it. Fortress of municipal bureaucracy. His ticket home sitting in a locker marked evidence. All he had to do was walk in, take it, and leave. But first, he needed to make one more call. The second call went to someone who didn't have a name in Vought's systems, just a designation. Asset Omega. Rick had found the file buried in Edgar's private server. A soup so powerful, so unstable, that Vought kept them sedated in sub-level 9, a contingency plan for when other contingencies failed. The file said telepathic reality warper, which in Rick's experience meant person who could rewrite existence but couldn't handle the grocery store. He didn't call them. He called their handler. Dr. Reyes speaking. Woman's voice, clinical, the tone of someone used to managing nightmares. This is Rick Sanchez. I hacked your boss's files, and I know about the thing you're keeping in the basement that makes Homelander look like a mall cop. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to wake them up, point them at Vought Tower, and let chaos do what chaos does best. Silence. Then a laugh, sharp and brittle. Mr. Sanchez, Asset Omega hasn't been conscious in 4 years. If we wake them, they'll level Manhattan. Maybe the Eastern Seaboard. They don't discriminate between Vought and civilians. Then maybe aim them carefully. I'm texting you coordinates. Sub-level 3, where you keep the Compound V reserves. Tell your asset that's the source of their pain, their imprisonment, everything Vought did to them. Give them a target. Even broken weapons can hit what they hate. This is insane. No, insane was dosing people with experimental genetics and acting surprised when it created gods with grudges. I'm just introducing consequences to people who thought they were exempt. Rick checked his scanner. Wait, no scanner. Homelander had destroyed it. He was operating on memory and spite now. You've got 20 minutes before I call the news networks with your facility's location. I'm betting Asset Omega makes better television than another Homelander PR stunt. He hung up. Probably wouldn't work. Probably Dr. Reyes would increase sedation and file a report that would get buried under 50 layers of corporate bureaucracy. But maybe she was tired of managing a weapon that could think. Maybe she wanted to see what happened when you pointed a gun at the people who made them. Rick reached the police precinct at 11:34 p.m. The building was chaos. Cops arguing with Vought lawyers, phones ringing non-stop, a TV in the corner showing footage of Rick's broadcast on loop. A sergeant was telling someone that, yes, interdimensional technology was being held as evidence. No, Vought couldn't just take it without proper authorization. This was still America, goddammit, even if corporations owned everything else. Rick walked past them, didn't sneak, just walked, coat pulled up, face down, looking like every other asshole in New York having a bad night. He made it to the evidence room before anyone noticed. The portal gun was sitting on a shelf between a bag of cocaine and someone's confiscated samurai sword, glowing faintly green, still charged, still functional. Thank fuck, Rick breathed, grabbing it. The device recognized his biosignature, interface lighting up, coordinates scrolling past. Home was right there. One trigger pull and he'd be back in his garage, back where corporate dystopias were just data points instead of problems. That's far enough. Cop's voice behind him, gun drawn. Young guy, maybe 30, eyes tired but determined. His name tag said Ramirez. Put the device down and step back. Can't do that. This is mine. Scientifically, legally, and practically. It doesn't work for anyone else. You keep it. You have an expensive paperweight. I take it, I go home. Everyone wins. Vought wants that technology. Says it's dangerous. Vought says a lot of things. Like Compound V is safe. Like Homelander's a hero. Like that thing on your captain's desk isn't a bribe. Rick nodded toward the evidence room door, where through the window he could see a briefcase that definitely wasn't there during budget meetings. How much did Edgar offer? 6 figures. 7? Ramirez's jaw tightened. Step back. Make me. Shoot me. Explain to your captain why you killed the guy who exposed Vought on live television right after your department mysteriously came into money. See how that plays. Rick raised the portal gun. Or let me leave. I'm done with this dimension. You'll never see me again. For 10 seconds, neither moved. Then footsteps, heavy, multiple cops responding to Ramirez's call. Rick was out of time. He fired the portal gun at the wall, green disc opening to his garage, to home, to safety. Then the building shook. Not earthquake. Something worse. Something that made reality ripple like bad special effects. Through the precinct windows, Rick saw it. A figure rising from the street, tearing through concrete, wreathed in light that bent wrong. Asset Omega. Dr. Reyes had actually done it. The telepath was awake and screaming without sound, and the scream was rewriting the world. Cars lifted off the ground. Windows shattered in patterns that spelled words in languages reality didn't speak. And every soup within 10 blocks. Cops with minor enhancements, criminals with cheap V doses, anyone with Compound V in their system, started bleeding from their eyes as Asset Omega's consciousness tore through their genetics like tissue paper. What the fuck is that? Ramirez whispered. That's what happens when you build gods in basements and forget they can get out. Rick stepped toward the portal. Home was right there. He could leave. Should leave. This wasn't his problem anymore. Then he saw Butcher on the TV being interviewed by someone with a camera phone, saying they'd keep fighting until Vought fell. Saw Huey in the background, scared but determined. Saw footage of the boys making their stand while Rick had made his exit. Fuck, Rick said. He closed the portal, turned to Ramirez. You want to stop that thing? How? Rick pulled out the last device he had. The V neutralizer delivery system, modified, untested. Asset Omega's power runs on Compound V. We hit them with this. We sever the connection. They go human. Problem solved. That'll kill them. They're currently erasing city blocks with their mind. I'm offering a clean death versus whatever Homelander's going to do when he gets here. Rick loaded the neutralizer. You coming or not? Ramirez looked at his gun, at the chaos outside, at Rick holding interdimensional technology and an insane plan. This is so far outside procedure. Procedures for people who live in worlds that make sense. We left that world 24 hours ago. Rick headed for the exit. Stay here if you want. I'm going to go negotiate with a telepathic god who's having a breakdown, because apparently I give a shit about this dimension now. Character growth. Morty would be proud. He pushed through the doors into the street where Asset Omega floated, 30 feet up, power crackling around them like bottled apocalypse. Their eyes were white, unseeing, lost in pain so vast it needed to destroy everything just to make room. Rick raised the neutralizer gun. Hey, Omega. Yeah, you, the walking panic attack. You want revenge on Vought? I can give you that. But first you need to stop erasing the city, because you're killing the people who actually want to help you. Asset Omega's head turned, focused on Rick, and suddenly he was inside their mind, or they were inside his, and he saw everything, the experiments, the torture, the decades in a basement being used as a weapon while being told it was for the greater good, the loneliness of being powerful enough to reshape reality but too broken to exist in it. I know, Rick said, out loud or in his head. Didn't matter. I know what it's like to be the smartest thing in the room and have it mean nothing. To be used, to be weaponized, to wonder if you're the monster or if the world made you one. Asset Omega was crying. Reality was crying with them, tears made of unraveled physics. But you don't have to die destroying everything, Rick continued. You can die destroying the right things. Let me help you aim. Asset Omega's real name was Sarah. Rick learned that from the telepathic connection still linking them, not invasive, just open, like two broken things recognizing each other in the dark. She'd been 12 when Vought found her, 15 when the experiment started, and 23 when they decided her powers were too unstable for public use. She'd spent 4 years in chemical sleep, dreaming nightmares that leaked into reality. Now she was awake, and the world was paying for what they'd done to her. Sarah, Rick said, lowering the neutralizer gun slightly. You want to hurt Vought? Really hurt them? I can show you how, but not like this. Not by leveling the city. That just makes you the villain in their story. Her voice was in his head, fractured and furious. They made me this. They deserve consequences. Agreed. But so do you. You deserve to choose how you go out, hero or monster, Don't let Vought make that decision for you. Rick pulled up coordinates on the portal gun, projecting them telepathically. Sub-level 3, Compound V reserves, the source material for every soup they've ever made. You erase that, you cripple their entire operation. No more forced enhancements, no more children turned into weapons. Sarah floated lower, power still crackling, reality still bending around her. Cops were evacuating civilians, Ramirez shouting orders, and somewhere in the distance Rick heard the sonic boom that meant Homelander was coming. They had maybe 90 seconds. After you destroy the V, Rick continued, I'll use the neutralizer. Quick, painless as I can make it. You'll die human, not a lab experiment, not a weapon. Just Sarah. Why would you help me? Because I'm tired of watching corporations turn people into products. Because you deserve a choice. Because, fuck it, maybe I'm having a moment of character development. Rick stepped closer, but we're out of time. Homelander's coming, and if he gets here first, he'll kill you slow just to prove he's still top dog. You want revenge? Take it now. Sarah's eyes cleared for just a moment, white fading to brown, and Rick saw the girl she'd been before Vought broke her. She nodded, then she vanished, teleporting, and 3 seconds later the ground shook as sub-level 3 of Vought Tower collapsed inward, reality folding, crushing, erasing. The Compound 5 reserves, billions of dollars, enough to dose millions, ceased to exist, not destroyed, erased. Removed from the timeline like they'd never been manufactured. Rick felt Sarah's presence return, weaker now, the effort of rewriting that much reality burning through her remaining strength. She materialized in front of him, floating inches off the ground, power flickering like a dying light. Good work, Rick said softly. He raised the neutralizer gun. You ready? Will it hurt? For about 6 seconds. Then nothing. You'll just be you. Human. Free. Sarah closed her eyes. Smiled. Thank you. Rick pulled the trigger. The neutralizer hit her bloodstream and her scream was silent, but Rick felt it in his mind. Cells rewriting, powers collapsing, DNA remembering what it was before Vought rewrote it. Her body glowed, then dimmed, then went still. She dropped into Rick's arms, no longer floating, no longer glowing. Just a woman weighing maybe 90 pounds who'd been used up and thrown away by people who called themselves heroes. You did good, Rick whispered. She was still breathing, barely, human but broken. You hurt them where it matters. Then Homelander landed, crater forming under his boots, cape whipping in wind he was generating himself. He looked at Sarah, at Rick holding her, at the smoking hole where Vought Tower's sub-level used to be. His face went through confusion, rage, and something like fear before settling on murder. You just cost Vought everything, Homelander said quietly. The V reserves, the research, the backups. Edgar's going to... Fuck, Edgar might actually have me kill you now. Then do it, but make it quick. I've got a dimension to get back to. Rick set Sarah down gently, stood, portal gun in hand. Or you can let me leave and we call this even. You lost your corporate backing. I lost my patience with your universe. We both learned valuable lessons about consequences. Homelander's fists clenched, eyes glowed red, heat shimmer in the air. For 10 seconds he stood there, calculating, weighing his corporate leash against his rage. Then the glow faded. Go, Homelander said, and if I ever see you again, in any dimension, I'll make you wish you stayed dead. That's fair. Rick fired the portal gun. Green disc opened to his garage, to home, to Morty probably worrying and Summer probably not noticing. One last thing, check your public approval ratings. Last I saw, they were at 32% and dropping. Turns out people don't like gods who threaten to murder scientists on live television. You might want to work on your PR. Homelander's jaw clenched, but he didn't move. Couldn't. The cameras were still everywhere. Phones recorded, the world watching. He was trapped in his own image. Rick stepped toward the portal, then paused, pulled out a data chip, the only physical evidence he'd kept of everything. Vought's crimes, Compound V's formula, the V neutralizer, all of it. He tossed it to Ramirez. Give that to someone who'll use it right, or don't. Your dimension, your problem now. Rick looked at Homelander one last time. Hey, Superman wannabe. For what it's worth, you could have been better. The power was real. Everything else was a choice. Then he stepped through the portal and it closed behind him, green light fading, leaving Homelander standing in a crater surrounded by cops and cameras and the ruins of his corporate empire, alone except for everyone watching. Rick materialized in his garage. Morty was there, exactly as predicted, jumping up from the workbench. Rick, oh man, you're back. Are you okay? You look terrible, there's blood. I'm fine, Morty. Just had a long week in a dimension that monetized superheroism and surprised itself when the heroes turned out to be monsters. Rick set the portal gun down, suddenly exhausted. Every injury, every cracked rib, every bruise decided to hurt simultaneously. How long was I gone? 12 hours. Mom made meatloaf. I saved you some. Meatloaf? Jesus Christ, Morty. I just toppled a corporate empire and you're offering me meatloaf. Well, yeah, you like meatloaf. Morty looked genuinely confused. Rick, did you actually help people? Like, for real? Rick thought about Butcher's rage finally finding a target that mattered. About Huey finding courage. About Sarah dying human. About millions of people asking questions Vought couldn't answer. About Homelander standing alone in the camera's unforgiving light. I hurt the right people, Rick said finally. Close enough. He grabbed the meatloaf and his flask. Finally, his flask from his dimension, with his liquor, and headed toward the house. Behind him, his scanner rebuilt itself for backup files, data streaming in from the dimension he'd left. Vought's stock was in freefall. Edgar had resigned. Homelander was under federal investigation. The boys were being called heroes by half the internet and terrorists by the other half. And basement labs worldwide were synthesizing V neutralizer, preparing for the day when gods would have to face humans who could fight back. Just another Tuesday, Rick muttered, and went inside to eat meatloaf with his family and pretend he didn't care about the dimension he'd left burning. But he'd check the feeds tomorrow, just to see, just to make sure the fire kept spreading. 3 weeks after Rick Sanchez left. The boys' universe was still burning, not with fire, but with questions that spread faster than any flame. Vought International's stock hadn't just fallen, it had cratered, dropping 73% before trading was suspended. Stan Edgar didn't just resign, he was arrested. Federal charges stacking up like a monument to corporate evil, finally named. The files Rick had left with Officer Ramirez made it to every major news outlet, WikiLeaks Mirror, and Conspiracy Forum simultaneously. You couldn't bury truth when it was replicated across 10,000 servers. Homelander was alive, powered, and more dangerous than ever, but also leashed. Federal oversight public scrutiny, cameras following his every move. He'd melted 2 cars in rage the day after Rick left, and his approval rating dropped another 18 points. Turns out, people stopped worshipping gods who had tantrums. Ashley Barrett had a complete breakdown on live television, admitting to years of cover-ups before being escorted away by paramedics. The 7 fractured. Queen Maeve went public about Homelander's crimes. A-Train was in medical care, learning to walk again without powers, and the rest were facing investigations that would take years to untangle. The boys became something between heroes and terrorists, depending on who you asked. Butcher got what he wanted. Vought crippled, Soups vulnerable. Public finally asking the right questions. Whether he'd survive his own revenge remained to be seen. Huey started a foundation for families affected by soupy violence, using Vought's own money seized in asset forfeiture. MM went back to his daughter, trying to be human again after playing soldier. Frenchie and Kimiko disappeared, last seen in Marseille, finally free. Compound 5, it didn't disappear. Too many samples existed. Too many labs had reverse engineered it. But the V-neutralizer made it mortal. Soups now lived with the knowledge that their powers weren't permanent, that basement labs and angry humans could strip away everything that made them special. Some retired quietly. Others became more violent, desperate to prove their divinity before someone took it away. The world was messier, more dangerous, but also more honest. Gods could bleed now. That changed everything. Sarah, Asset Omega, died 3 days after Rick left, her human body unable to survive what Vought's experiments had done. But she died free, in a hospital bed instead of a basement, with her real name on the death certificate. Vought tried to bury the story. The media ran it anyway. She became a martyr, proof of what happened when corporations played God without oversight. And Rick? He went home, drank too much, worked on projects that made sense, and tried not to think about the dimension he'd left better than he'd found it. But late at night, when Morty was asleep and the house was quiet, he'd pull up news feeds from that universe. Watch Homelander, give carefully. Scripted apologies that fooled no one. Watch the boys navigate their new fame. Watch a world slowly learning that heroes could be manufactured, destroyed, and most importantly, questioned. He told himself he didn't care. That it was just data, just another dimension in an infinite multiverse where nothing mattered because everything existed somewhere. But he kept the portal coordinates saved, just in case. Just in case they needed him again, or in case he needed to see what happened when you punched corporate fascism in the mouth and lived to document the aftermath. The multiverse was infinite, chaotic, and fundamentally meaningless. But maybe, just maybe, you could make one corner of it slightly less shitty. Not through heroism or morality or any of that propaganda bullshit, but through applied science, strategic chaos, and the willingness to hurt the right people at the right time. Rick Sanchez had toppled an empire with a portal gun, a chemistry set, and spite. He'd turned manufactured gods into vulnerable mortals. He'd given a broken world the tools to fix itself, or at least burn down what needed burning. Not bad for a 12-hour dimensional vacation. He closed the feeds, poured another drink, and got back to work on a device that would probably destroy 3 universes if he calibrated it wrong. Morty would worry. Beth would lecture. Jerry would say something stupid. And Rick would keep being Rick, brilliant, broken, and occasionally useful to dimensions that didn't deserve him. But he'd remember. The boys' universe. Remember Butcher's rage finding purpose, Huey's fear becoming courage, Sarah's death becoming meaningful. Remember that even in a dimension built on manufactured heroism and corporate lies, real people could still choose to fight back. The multiverse never sleeps. More crossovers await, more dimensions need breaking, more gods need bleeding. Rick Sanchez took another drink and smiled. Wubba lubba dub dub, he muttered to the empty garage. It still meant, I'm in great pain, please help me, in bird person's language. But tonight, just for tonight, it also meant something else. It meant he'd actually helped. And somehow, that hurt worse than anything Homelander could have done. The multiverse never sleeps. More crossovers await.